let's take a look at the Module 5 Sandbox. And the Module 5 Sandbox, I think, is kind of a fun challenge. It's related to what we did earlier. Remember the secret number guessing game that we did last week? We're going to use a while loop to give the user 3 tries to guess the number instead of just one, because one try to guess a number is not much of a game. So if they guess correct, we want to tell them that they guessed correct. If they guess 3 times and they don't get it right, then we want to say, thanks for playing, you lose, here was the secret number. And for those of you that want a bonus challenge, keep track of the numbers that the user has guessed already. So on their second guess, you can say, you guessed number 3, try again. And on the third guess, you can say, you guessed number 3 and 7, try again. See if you can figure out how to keep track of that. So that is a bonus challenge. Let's take a look at how this works. Okay, this is not super tough. We want to import random because we're going to use that random module again. Okay. And don't forget to use what you know to make a great user interface. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit of UI stuff here. And then let's throw a couple of new lines in there. There we go. All right, so guess my number. And then maybe a little bit of instructions. I'm going to give you 3 tries to guess my number. All right. Okay, so how do I go about giving somebody 3 tries to guess a number? Well, one thing I would like to do is I'm going to say int tries, and I'm going to say they get 3. This is how many tries they get. Int on try, so this is the try that they're on, will be 1. Actually, I'm going to start with 0 on there. I'm going to change the name of it. Tries used. There we go. This is how many tries they've used up. Why am I putting the variables up here? This is another software development practice that I highly recommend that will help you stay organized. And that is this. When you are creating a basic program, the first thing you always want to do, the top few lines of the program are where you import modules. If you're using any external modules like random, you'll import those first. Next, if you have variables that you're going to be using throughout the program, I would recommend declaring those variables next. Before you start writing any other code, declare your variables. So anyway, instantiate them, put them out there, give them the value that they're going to start with. Why is that important? Because now if I want to remember what I called that variable or how I spelled that or what the starting value was, I know exactly where to look. If I have those randomly scattered throughout my program, I have to waste time looking. And only after that do I start building the program. Now, of course, don't forget to do comments, right? So I'm going to say something like, welcome the player. Okay, so what I want here is a loop. I want them to keep guessing until either they guess correct or until they use up their 3 tries. Okay? So what I'm going to say is while int tries used is less than int tries. So in other words, if I want to give them more tries, I can change that variable, and I can even, I'm just going to put a little f string in here, int tries, and now I can change the number of tries from 3 to 2 to 5 to 100. There we go, right there. I'm going to go ahead and create the computer's guess right here also. Int guess, I'll just say int secret, why not, equals random. I'm going to use that random module, and if you don't remember, I'm going to use the rand int function, and I'm going to give it that. So now I've got it all set up. It created the random number. I don't put this in the loop, by the way. Some of you might be thinking, why didn't you put that in the loop? Because I want it to guess one random number per game. The computer's not going to change its number every time the user guesses. So we're setting up the game by choosing the computer's random number up top here. Then it prints the welcome, and then I go into the game itself. And the first thing I'm going to do is ask the user to guess a number. Okay, so I'm going to say int guess equals int input a number between 1 and 10. Okay, so there's that. And it gets changed to an integer on the fly. Now I have to see, did the user guess correct? So if int guess is equal to int secret, then what do I want to do? I want to say you guessed correctly, right? So I'm going to say print you correctly. Do I want them to keep guessing if they guess correctly? No. So what am I going to put right here? A break. So now, if they don't guess correctly, I need to do something. What do I need to do? They used up a turn, right? So I need to increment the tries used by 1. Int tries used plus equals 1. So we're going to increment that by 1. Now, if they get through all of this, they get through their guesses and they don't guess right before then, I'm just going to print a message that says my secret number was int secret. And I'm going to use an F string to put that in there. Print. Thanks for playing. So there we go. Let's run this and see what it does. Okay, so guess my number. Give a number between 1 and 10. I'm going to say 2. I guessed correctly. Well, that was boring. I'm too good at this. Let's say 2. What are the odds? 1? 5? Ah, my secret number was 4. Thanks for playing. Okay. So here's another interesting thing we can do here if we want. If I wanted to say int minimum and int maximum, I could set those as parameters for minimum and maximum, and guess a number between, I'm just going to plug those in here, int minimum and int max, and now those numbers are right in there, and I can easily change that throughout the program to whatever I want. I could change it to 7 and 15 if I want to. So guess a number between 7 and 15. I can guess 8. I can guess 9. I can guess 11. My secret number was 7. What are the odds? All right, so that is the sandbox, and I just showed you how to do it because I want you to go through the process of actually working through this and putting it together. Another interesting challenge that you might give to yourself was, can you figure out when the game is over how to give the player the option to play again? Can you figure that out? So when they get to the end of the game, you can say, would you like to play again? And if they say yes, there's another loop involved. That's the hint. And if they say no, then it exits.